Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today as we discuss the topic of distance learning with our students on Mango High. My name is Michelle and I'm the Math Success Coach here at Mango High. In recent weeks I have been working with many schools across Asia, which is one of our first regions where schools have had to adapt to distance learning pretty quickly. And the reality is we all started with, a very common set of questions, which is how do I use an online platform to make sure that our students' progress in learning continues? So how do I assign tasks to our students? How do I then track their progress? How do I then customize the teaching to suit those individual students? And how do I monitor to make sure that they are doing work versus, students who aren't doing work? Now, weeks beyond that, what we are finding is another problem arises. How do we keep our students connected? So how do we maintain some kind of sense of normality or connectedness with our students while they're physically being isolated from each other? So we all know that, as humans, we thrive on the success and energy of our peers. This often leads to, or can lead to motivation to challenge ourselves further, or, inspiration to try something different. So how do we build that, that sense of energy and success in this new age of social setting? So I want to talk about some ways in which you can use Mango High to help your students stay socially connected. Let's start by talking about leaderboards. Not from a teacher's point of view, but how does it help our students when they're viewing leaderboards to give them that sense of a larger community that they are part of, whether that be the school community or perhaps even a geographical community? To begin with, all activities on Mango High have leaderboards associated with it. So the idea is they can see who the top students are. What we're trying to create here is a positive leaderboard where it's inspiring, where students can work towards achieving higher scores, rather than naming and shaming the bottom end students. Because there are leaderboards for every single activity, what we have found is it has allowed students to just feel like they're part of something rather than being ashamed. So we want to use the leaderboards to help our students feel a part of something. And sometimes it's also nice to, when you click into an activity, to see who else in the class have actually attempted this activity. So if they click into an assigned task, for example, they can click into the activity and they can see who else has actually tried this task already. Okay, we'll look more into that later on. There are also school-based leaderboards, so we are part of a larger community and students will be able to contribute to the school's total number of medal points, which then places their school onto a leaderboard as well. Students can also see who the top 10 contributors are for a particular month, how many medals they have earned versus, all their classmates as well. Okay. As a student, they can also click into their name where they get to see what their current school ranking is, or perhaps their ranking within the classmates. They can also see how many medals they've earned. So as you know, on Mango High, we don't necessarily tell our students, or we don't measure their success based on percentage. We measure their success by awarding them a bronze, silver, or gold medal. Or a gold standard is worth 3 medal points. So in this particular case, this student has earned 13 gold standards, so completed 13 activities to a gold standard and has then contributed 13 times 3 medal points into his or her medal tally. Okay, a silver standard is worth 2 medal points and a bronze standard is worth 1 medal point. Now, when your students log into Mango High, they can see a list of activities that's either been assigned to them or activities that's been recommended to them. They can see prodigy activities, which appear blue like this, okay? And they can see activities that are games-based activities, which have richer graphics. But importantly, they can see what medal they've earned so far for that particular activity, and then decide to archive it if they're quite happy with that progress and no longer want to revisit that activity. And so they just archive it so it takes it away from them. Now, clicking into an activity that has been attempted but not earn a medal, students will be able to see who has actually attempted that task, what number of, how many points the classmate has earned. And if we click play, students can see the last time we attempted this task, we got up to the hard level. I'm going to turn the sound off. And this time I play, I'm going to start with the hard level as well. So it's really important to note that questions will continue to progress harder as your students, complete the work. If they students, questions get harder and they can't handle it and they get a couple of questions wrong, they'll move back down to the previous level. Okay, so what we want to encourage our students to look at is they need to earn at least 4 hard questions right in order to earn a bronze level, in order to pass this activity. So they need to get 4 hard questions right to move up to the next level of questions, or to the extreme questions. And in order to get a gold medal, they need to answer all extreme questions correct. And just as a reminder, make sure our students click into the red box and click to show solution and actually learn from those mistakes before they go back and try and play again. Another way to help our students stay connected or social is by receiving messages from their teachers. So if your students click into their Manga High inbox, they can get notifications from you. They can also get messages from you. Now, keeping in mind, this system only works via, teachers need to initiate it, and teachers will need to send either their class or the individual students a message before the students can respond to it. Okay, so when your students receive a message to say, like for example this one, well done guys, so proud of your work today, the student can respond and say, thank you, been a fun day, and click play, or hit send, and and that message will be sent to the teacher. Now let's take a look to see how the teachers actually initiate the messaging. Alrighty, so let's have a look to see how teachers initiate the messaging. So from your teacher's account, click on inbox, and you can click on the plus button on the bottom right corner. And from there, you decide which class you want to send this message to. Select the students in your class that you would like to receive or have this message. Click tick and type in your message. Can't wait to start again tomorrow. Have a great night, and hit send. So once you've done that, the students will get a message from you, which they can respond to as we saw earlier.